I call this February 11th meeting of the Paducah Planning and Zoning Commission to order. Ask that you stand with us as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Summer, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Benberry.
Here.
Mr. Bradford.
Here.
Mr. Morrison.
Here.
Ms. Schramke.
Here.
Mr. Shadle.
Here.
Mr. Wade.
Here.
Chair Casillas.
Here. Mr. Morrison, you have the minutes motion?
Yes, ma'am. I move that the reading of the minutes for January 23rd, 2019 be waived and that the minutes of said meeting as prepared by the secretary be approved as written.
Second.
Second by Wade. Are there any corrections, additions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Morrison.
Aye.
Ms. Schramke.
Aye.
Mr. Shadle.
Aye.
Mr. Wade.
Aye.
Mr. Benberry.
Aye.
Mr. Bradford.
Aye.
Chair Casillas.
Aye. Ms. Schramke, you have our item of business.
I do. I move that this commission receive and file the application of the Paducah-McCracken County Riverport Authority for the proposed re-subdivision of property and the establishment of lease lines located at 115 Locust Drive. I further move that the requested waiver of the public hearing and the dedication of streets be given and approval of the submitted plat be granted.
Second.
Second by Bradford.
This is it started out originally as a leased area for a new company moving in Paducah at the Riverport. Upon review, the footprint of that lease area has expanded, and I'll let Mr. Martin explain the lease lines and the new property lines.
Actually, the new company is Southern FS, which is Farm Services, and they're located out of Elnor, this region is. And first of all, we'll say that Mr. Kirby appreciates very much your having a special called meeting. They've been quite anxious to get started, and Josh has helped us a bunch on that. But they'd actually cut out a 2-acre, 2.0 acre parcel to be leased from the Riverport Authority. They currently are already using an existing building there on the Riverport Authority. It's in a pretty good state of disrepair. They have some flooding issues, and of course they're storing fertilizer in there. So their plan is to build a new dry fertilizer warehouse. They'll have bins in that they store the different types of fertilizer. They'll have ways to auger that out, mix it, get a certain blend, and then offload it into trucks to send out to the farm. So they, and currently Southern FS has a facility in Hickman, Kentucky that they purchased as is, and then this will be the second one that they have in this end of the state. So we started out with a 2-acre parcel. We had about 67 feet on the north side about 60 feet clearance on the, I guess, the east side. And of course, on the west side, we've got quite a bit of ground. When, of course, Josh in the process had let the building department inspect it, they were concerned about the type of building and the materials being stored. And so we've increased that distance to 60 feet on the south side. And that's the reason for the late change between, I guess, Friday when they were mailed out and today. But Riverport Authority's been very good to work with, and talked to Bill Miller tonight. He signed this. He's excited to have them down here. It's about a $5 million building, and I think there'll be 1 or 2 employees on site, but then there, of course, it impacts drivers, people that are, and farmers that are delivering fertilizer and stuff.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So the way I see it, I understand the building is a leased building.
Yes, ma'am.
And the building has no parking area connected to the building.
That's correct.
So therefore, is it a leased adjacent type thing? I mean, are they parking?
The building and site are leased, or in the building and the land that the building sits on are leased. They'll actually park up front. There's a entrance trailer where people come in. That's where all the employees end up parking. Other than the 1 or 2 employees that are there on the property, that's all the vehicles that will be there.
And will the Riverport Authority own the building?
That I'm not sure. I don't think so. They will after the term of the lease, or if they were to pull out early. Southern FS obviously is not going to be able to take it with them. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, is the fertilizer going to be delivered through the Riverport Authority?
It will. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what I
Most
thought.
certainly. Right. So it's offloaded from the barges and it comes in on the. Matter of fact, you see part of the conveyor there.
Yes, I see the conveyor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're simply asking that this parcel be subdivided out, since it is a leased property, and of course, in accordance with KRS, that requires subdivision approval.
And of course, before some of the other people arrived, I had asked you the question about access, ingress, and egress.
That access to all of the Riverport Authority's property is off of Locust Street, the main street there, main entrance there where the entrance trailer is. And so it'll be open during the day, during normal operating hours, and then there's a side entrance that Southern will have a key to be able to access, but that won't be their normal entry point. And they have an agreement. I've got a letter from the Riverport Authority that's how they're to come in and access it, and where their parking will be and that type of thing.
Any other questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Ms. Shramke?
Aye.
Mr. Shadle?
Aye.
Mr. Wade?
Aye.
Mr. Benberry?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Morrison?
Aye.
Chair Casillas?
Aye. If there is no other business to come before the commission tonight, we stand adjourned at 5:37.